I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to see here if I can see without my glasses. I think I wrote big enough here. But I have an immersive experience, and I really, really hope you'll join in. It's intuitive. I think that you'll know where you're supposed to join. I know you know the words. You know the words? We're all singing this together. Just a small town girl, living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Thank you, guys. My secret karaoke name is Coco. Okay, so I challenge you as we're here to answer the question, what is your gift? The gift that you're supposed to share with the world. And will you share it? So tonight I'd like to share my personal story about following your dreams and not your fears. So first of all, I hate speaking in front of crowds. People do not understand that because I was a news anchor for 28 years. But it was just a camera, and it wasn't people and their reactions, and you didn't feel the energy, so this is very unnerving when you bare your soul. So the TV news industry took me through 4 time zones, 5 parts of the country over a span of nearly 30 years, and I am an introverted extrovert, as they say, like terrified of public speaking, my hands shake, I have to drink water. I found it's the vagus nerve that causes that reaction, and so I talk to my vagus nerve when I'm in these situations. So I'm like, Vega, don't do it tonight, not tonight. I remember my first live shots as a reporter, you'd write your script and you'd be out in the elements, and my hands, the first time I was live, were shaking so hard that I almost couldn't see the words. It was terrifying to me. And this journey, it goes all the way back to my childhood. What I really wanted to be was a sitcom writer. It's because I really do find people really funny. I had a very happy suburban upbringing. I did lots of giggles, just a really enjoyable life. I went to Howard University. And woo woo, go Bison! I studied TV journalism, radio and film communications. I get out of college, and the first job I land is behind the scenes at WCBS News in New York City. So I'm a newsroom assignment desk assistant. I'm a gopher. I do anything, people are just like, go get me this, I do that. And then my coworkers literally forced me to put together a reel. They're like, you're the overnight girl, you're helping us, so you're gonna do this too. I'm like, okay. I then go from Manhattan to Ottumwa, Iowa. Yeah, population 25,000. They had beautiful sunsets, they still do. It's the oxymoron in life though, right? You want to be a sitcom writer, and then God's like, no, you're gonna tell real stories about real people at the most challenging and sometimes depressing moments of their lives. So that was just interesting. But I don't doubt for a moment that it was my path, my destiny. So my first job made $12,000 a year. Yeah. And I'm more than 1,000 miles away from anybody I know, right? So not only being in front of thousands of people was a fear, but there were community parades with swastikas, and I'm the reporter. I'm like, hello. I'm covering a story, and there's a man with a swastika tattoo, and so there were just situations that I never anticipated, like me, my camera, and one time covering a drug case, I go up with my camera to record the house that I'm going to be live with, and not knowing that he bailed out. And so, he comes out, sits on the porch with his gun, and so I left. Anyway, my second job, I more than doubled my salary. It was $28,000. Yeah, I was rich. So I was 10 months into live reporting, getting my feet wet. I remember I was in California, and I was stumbling over a word, and the director literally just like, I was in mid-sentence, and then all of a sudden the camera just cuts off, and I was like, so it kind of magnified the whole situation. And at the end, he said, he pulled me aside, and he said, you just shouldn't do this. You know, you're just not equipped for this type of job. You should just go do something else. He was later removed from his job. Kind of makes me think of somebody else's story in here. Karma just like comes back, right? So newsies hop around a lot. I ended up doing a one-year stint in Sacramento, recruited to North Carolina, morning anchor there, and that's where I learned about the power of women supporting women and women hating. That means women not supporting you. So I had my first female general manager, my first female marketing director, and they literally just supported me. And I was like, wow, I can be part of the decision-making process. That was just like so new. Like, they asked me questions, they wanted to know what I thought. And then about 2 years in, a new manager came in who was also a female, and she called me a press in front of the entire newsroom. Why would she think I'm a press? No, I actually hate shopping, and I only do this because, I don't know, it was part of the news thing. You had to have your hair done and stuff like that, or you would get grilled by people watching. They would say, why are you wearing your hair like that? You look like a Jezebel with that red lipstick, you know. So you would have to like really just adjust yourself. So thankfully, Memphis called. And I came here, it's supposed to be 2 years, and Memphis got inside of my heart and under my skin, and I am a Memphian by choice, and that was 18 years ago. Yeah, two years. And what has happened here is that I have been able to find a core group of women who have been, you know, women and women, people, and people who identify as women, who are my mentors, my friends, my support system, young, old, every size, every shape, you know, ethnicity, and they keep me grounded and help me in those scary moments. And so here I am, right? This was 28 years into my career. And at the age of 50, I realized that career had been center of my world, and I had never just stopped to, oh, you know, have a family? Like, never, you know, like, it just, all I could think about was getting up early to do the story. Did I do this? You know, I worked when I wasn't on the clock, because I felt a great responsibility of like, people's lives don't not need your amplification as a journalist when you're sleeping. You know, it's like sometimes things happen when you're off, but I couldn't turn it off. And so I realized, you know, I'm just getting over not having children. Maybe I'm not over it, but yeah, it's been hard. But like, I don't think I had a scenario where, you know, I could pay, you know, get a salary and have a husband who could go and have a kid, you know, so it's just, because I give birth, right? I'd be the one. But anyway, so time passes, and I have this crossroad, and I'm like, I've been helping people behind the scenes, and this like job idea happened. I mean, this business idea. So I was just like, do I follow this? Like, the last time this happened was like almost 30 years ago, when like God was like, no, you're not a sitcom writer, you're a news anchor. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna just do the right thing and follow what I think God wants me to do. So this letter, I wrote this letter like to just say, I'm leaving, I'm going to do my own thing. This was supposed to be happy, like I was not supposed to cry. So I end up writing this letter saying like, I can no longer be here, you know, in so many words. I would bring it to work, change the date, re-sign it, because, you know, you do it in blue pen. You know, it's better to sign in blue pen. So I'd be like, oh, you know, and then I'd change the date, sign it again, and then finally I was like, I don't know, something really annoyed me, and I was like, I'm doing this. You know that moment when you're at work and you're like, it's not really that annoying, but I'm just annoyed, you know, and so I just like went ahead And I did it, and really, to be honest, it was something that happened in the world that I was just like, I didn't want to have to read that and talk about it all day, because that was just hard sometimes because I'm really sensitive. So this crossroad happened, and then there were people like Krista Scott, who, she was our best producer at 6 p.m., right, the best producer. She walked away because she felt that her purpose was somewhere else. And so she went and she did it. And so there are people like that in my life who came into my life and who made me say, you have to just step out and do this. So I leave this, now I'm not making $12,000 a year anymore, okay, people? This is 6 figures, right? So I'm like, okay, gotta do this, right? And just about the time it takes to make a baby, I saved money for 9 months. But it's really 10, and everybody lies. It's 10 months. Take that out of the books. Fix that. So, what was that? The math is not math. So, end up just going ahead and doing it. Take the leap, start my own business. So, I looked to the future, right, and I realized that this decision is scary. It's something I was fearful of doing, of just following my gift, I'm like, this is, yeah. So it was something that was very hard, a decision that I just had to make to follow my dreams and not my fears. And so the challenge comes to make the dream a reality, right? So that's when you're like, whoa, that's when you have to trust yourself. But that's when you're working, you're not sleeping. It's persistence. You have to just do that hard work. It doesn't just happen. So this, I believe, is that moment when you live your truth, right? You take the risks, but do your homework, right? And saving that money, right? Dedicating my full attention to my purpose is something that is just, I didn't know that it would feel this great. So there's just a beauty in that. And I do want to say that I believe that, our gifts, right? So you're like, what is your gift? I know that there's something that every single one of you, someone said is special about you, or you knew that was special about yourself. And so I just believe that there's this one thing that God put in every single person, everyone, right? It's like this seed, right? And so either life takes away from it or it germinates, but there's always going to be taking away, because there's a lot of trauma in just being. But that's your gift, is that you went through the troubling times so that you can now, you're baked, right? And so you can just take that, and then your gift becomes that much stronger, because in the pain, there is beauty and strength, and then you can really live out your gift. Peace activist Lima Bowie once said, you can never leave footprints that last if you're always walking on tiptoe. Philanthropist Melinda Gates said, a woman with a voice is, by definition, a strong woman. Author Tanisha Shim said, a lion does not apologize for its roar. So I challenge you to use your gift. Don't follow your fears, follow your dreams, and let them hear you roar. And I want you to continue singing with me, if you will. I know you know the words. You can't get out of this. Here we go. It's the end. It's the end part. Don't stop believing. This is the hard part right here. Hold on to that feeling. Street lights keep on. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that. I heard you in the background. Thank you so much. Don't stop believing.